please, please, please take this heat seriously.
A call to action from local leaders tonight to protect yourself and your neighbors as we near a critical time in this heat wave. Thank you for joining us for KGW News at 5 o'clock. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. City and county leaders stressed once again today the people at highest risk of getting sick or dying in this heat are older and live alone. And that is why they're asking everyone, especially those living in apartment buildings, to check on their neighbors. They also want landlords and other housing providers to check on tenants to make sure they know the risks and that they have details on nearby cooling centers. As Matt Zaffino's been saying all this week, it is not just necessarily these highs we are seeing, but the duration. And with the extreme heat now stretching out for at least another couple of days, the impact here can add up.
Heat exhaustion can cause dizziness, thirst, heavy sweating, nausea, and weakness. If a person is very weak, very sick from the heat, they might be confused and not know the danger they're in.
And we've just learned a total of 5 people have now died in Oregon from likely heat-related illness this week. That includes one person now in Marion County. A reminder, you can call 211 to get directions to a cooling center or to get help finding a ride. We've also got a list for you up at KGW.com. And let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, thankfully it seems like we've got a little bit of a breeze back today.
Yeah, the breeze helps, but the temperatures actually got cranked up a notch or two. So it's just hot out there, even with the breeze, even with humidity being reasonable. 97 out at the Reserve Golf Course in Washington County. So cranked up quite a bit. We are running a 1 to 4 degrees warmer in the metro area now compared to the same time yesterday. Salem and McMinnville both 4 degrees warmer. The coast pretty neutral. The gorge warmer too. Wait to see the high temperatures out there. So we've topped out so far at 97, which is 1 degree warmer than yesterday. 98 in Troutdale, 98 in Scappoose, 99 in McMinnville. Triple digits as you head down the valley. 101 in Eugene. Medford brutal at 112. It is going to be a little hotter tomorrow, pretty much ballpark of what we did today, but still well into the 90s, probably triple digits. And we are now on day 6 of our 90-degree stretch, which gets us into the top 5 longest 90-degree stretches we have in Portland. We're going to end up at 8 days because both Saturday and Sunday we will be in the 90s. The heat warning continues through Sunday evening now. It has been extended. So our hottest day will be Saturday for the rest of the heat wave, 101, 97 Sunday. Still looking at much cooler weather beginning Monday. Can't wait, guys.
Thank you, Matt. We are following breaking news tonight of another water rescue happening right now on the Sandy River. This is near the Stark Street Bridge in Troutdale. There was a report of someone face down in the water. The sheriff's office is just getting on the scene, and we have a crew on the way as well, and we'll update you when we learn more.
And we've had a number of deaths and rescues this week on the water as folks seek relief. A man drowned on Monday at Hag Lake. On Wednesday, another man died in the Sandy River. This was near Oxbow Park. And on Thursday, we had reports of a close call. That is when Gresham Fire's water rescue unit responded to a rescue call for 2 adults and a child. This was once again on the Sandy River at Oxbow Regional Park. Officials say a 12-year-old got swept away in the rapids and was in distress. Family members went in after him. Luckily, everybody was okay here. Now, earlier this afternoon, along that very stretch of river among swimmers and paddlers, safety once again top of mind.
You can't underestimate a river. As strong as you are on the river, that's stronger. So I wear this just like I wear my riding gear when I go on the motorcycle.
Yeah, good advice. Besides wearing a life jacket, if you are on or in the water, officials remind you to bring plenty of cool water to drink for everybody as well.
Be proactive. Schedule those breaks and don't let people say we're going to plow through this.
That is a public health doctor's advice to businesses that have people working in the heat during this dangerous heat wave. It is also the requirement now under new rules from Oregon OSHA, designed to keep workers healthy and safe. Tim Gordon joins us now. And Tim, we wanted to hear from OSHA about how those new rules are working.
That's right, Laurel, and Oregon OSHA has been busy. They say they have at least 9 open inspections right now related to the heat where businesses are going to be cited, and they're still looking into more. They say they've received 61 complaints so far this week about the heat. From Oregon's agricultural fields, where people toil in the sun, to downtown construction and demolition jobs, the ongoing heat is downright dangerous. Oregon Occupational Safety and Health Administration's enhanced requirements took effect in June, in part a response to last year's heat dome that was deadly to many, including some who had to work out in it. Now Oregon OSHA says when the heat index hits 80, employers must provide access to shade and water for people working outside or indoors without a ventilation system. When it hits 90 and above, like it is now, employers must provide more breaks, more communication, and more close monitoring for heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Multnomah County's acting health officer says employers should follow those rules and employees should get help if they need it.
They're not going to be able to cite the new statute, but they're going to have to say, I really need to get to a cool place. I really need to take a break. I'm starting that, that queasy, sweaty headache feeling.
So whether you're working heavy construction or making coffees.
We're at Ole Latte down here on 5th and Harrison in Portland, Oregon by PSU.
Beating the heat is critical. At this coffee cart in Southwest Portland, Robert Thielman has air conditioning. Would he be here if he didn't?
No, no. I would tell my boss he needs to come on in. Yeah, it's a little rough. It would certainly be about 85, 90.
Based on what Multnomah County Public Health is seeing, plenty of people are needing urgent medical care because of the heat wave. It canvassed local hospitals and tweeted out the results, saying ER visits for heat exposure are way up, and at least a third are people who got too hot working outdoors this week. Many of them are young and otherwise healthy people.
On one hand, I think, this is uber scary. On the other hand, I think maybe people are hearing the message. It's better to treat when you're in that heat exhaustion phase, when cool and some cooling blankets and maybe some IV fluids are going to basically get that person right as rain.
Yeah, certainly better to catch it early and get some help so it doesn't become a potentially deadly heat stroke. Laurel, back to you.
Could be life-saving advice. Thank you. Now for an update on the deadly police shooting Wednesday night. The Portland Police Bureau is not planning to identify the officer who killed a person, at least not for now. They say it's because of concerns over doxing. Mike Benner joins us now with more on doxing.
Yeah, hey there, Laurel. Not everybody will be familiar with doxing. It's when private information about a person, like an address, is published publicly with the intent to cause harm. A spokesperson for the Portland Police Bureau says officers involved in police shootings Sunday morning and Tuesday morning are victims of doxing. In fact, authorities say there are credible security threats to these officers and their families. And because of this, the decision has been made not to identify the officer involved in Wednesday night's deadly shooting of a person who was reportedly firing a gun in the front yard of a home. Here's Portland Police Association President Sergeant Aaron Schmautz.
Transparency is very important. It's a vital cog in accountability. But when we then see officers threatened before there's any due process, before the investigation really has even gotten off the ground, people followed home, people having flyers put up in their neighborhood, family members being threatened. This is not about transparency. This is about utilizing an event to create chaos and threaten the safety of police officers. It's just not acceptable.
All right, Sergeant Schmautz says officers dealt with a lot of doxing during the protests of 2020. He says it was so bad that officers had to take their names off their uniforms. As far as these latest cases of doxing, they're under investigation, and once that investigation is complete, the Bureau will reassess releasing the name of the officer in Wednesday night's shooting. David?
Mike Benner in the newsroom. Thank you, Mike. More affordable housing now coming to Vancouver. A 4-story housing complex for low-income seniors is opening today off West Mill Plain Boulevard. Now, the complex is called Miles Terrace. All the tenants are 55 plus and make around 50% of the median income. Rent for them is going to be between $1,000 and $1,400 a month, with subsidies available for people who make less. For many, today is a turning point.
My life will be stable for the first time since I was 19.
Of course, one complex only goes so far. In fact, directly across the street from there is a homeless camp where people like Sarah Taylor are still waiting and hoping to find permanent housing.
I've called, I've done every assessment, I've done everything, and they give you case managers here, and the case managers are supposed to help you get into housing and you get into Section 8 and whatnot. They have not gotten back to me.